how do I say this? If you're watching this, you are the reason I quit my dream job. And because of Mr. Rogers.
Let's go to the recycling place and find out more about it.
But this is a good thing. I promise I will explain. And after I do, I also have an invitation for you. But first, if you're like, who is this guy? Well, I'm a meteorologist.
You know, probably 5 inches deep, and I just got splashed because I was standing too close to the road. Hazards of the job, right?
Should have predicted that, right? And I was also the first on-air reporter at NBC dedicated to covering climate change. That meant that I was reporting everywhere from NBC Nightly News to your local NBC station, and alongside some pretty famous people like Al Roker and Hoda Kotb.
Go Chase.
Is that right?
Go Chase.
Needless to say, I worked with some really talented, smart, passionate journalists at NBC for more than a decade. It was my dream job. So when I walked out of the newsroom knowing that it would be for the last time, I was a little emotional. So then you're like, well, why did you quit? Well, author Ryan Holiday describes the place where I was at as the pinch. The pinch between the way that you wish things were and the way that things are. And the way that I wish things were was that we lived on a healthy, vibrant planet that we cared for, that there was clean air, that there was no plastic pollution or pollution from oil and gas, that forests and oceans are thriving, and that everyone had access to cheap, clean energy. And guess what? We can live in that world, but first we gotta start talking about it more often. We need to talk about nature and environment and solutions. Don't be afraid to talk about it. Talk about it all the time. But that's just not the way that things are in mainstream media. I mean, for me, I started to feel like I was living in the movie Don't Look Up.
If I were to describe Don't Look Up in a nutshell, it would be an analogy of modern day culture and our inability to hear and listen to scientific truth.
Okay.
And if you're curious about that, I had an entire conversation with former CBS and ABC News climate producer Tracy Wolf and Emily Atkin from Heated. The link to that video is in the description. But my deeper reasons are really about you and Mr. Rogers. As a kid, my mom will tell you that I was obsessed with Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. As an adult, I heard something that Fred Rogers said that really stuck with me.
My mother used to say, whenever there would be any really catastrophe that was in the movies or on the air, she would say, always look for the helpers. There will always be helpers, you know, even just on the sidelines. That's why I think that if news programs could make a conscious effort of showing rescue teams, of showing who medical people, anybody who is coming into a place where there's a tragedy, to be sure that they include that. Because if you look for the helpers, you'll know that there's hope.
And how often do you see helpers in the news? Sometimes, sure, but not often. And there's that incredible wisdom from Adrienne Maree Brown, who said what we pay attention to grows. Basically the law of attraction. So what if we apply that to what we pay attention to, what we watch, and we start focusing more on all of the helpers, all of the doers, all of the scientists, the farmers, the moms, the kids who are doing things to care for and protect our beautiful, marvelous planet. If we do that, I think that the good gets even better, that the good spreads and has a real ripple effect. And I'm not saying don't watch the news, don't pay attention to anything bad. I think it is especially important in a democracy that we stay informed. But there is a line between informed and overwhelmed. And that brings me to why I said I quit because of you. It's because you are here on YouTube. And I want to have a direct relationship with you. I want to have a conversation and connect with all of the other people who love our marvelous planet as much as I do. And YouTube is now where more Americans watch things than anywhere else, more than Netflix or any of the major media companies, and it's growing. 2.5 billion people around the world, and the average in 2025 was that each one of those people watched nearly 49 minutes every day. I think more of those minutes can be, more of those videos can be about nature, about our environment, about how we care for it, how we reconnect with it, how we reconnect with one another, because I want us us to deepen the intimate, sacred relationship that we have with our planet. And I just finished reading Joanna Macy's incredible book, Active Hope, and she says a lot of good things, but one of the things that she writes is that when life is dominated by urgent demands, we don't get the time needed to find our direction or determine what really matters. And TV news is constantly urgent. It's developing news, it's breaking news, and on. But here on YouTube, we can slow down a little bit. We can take time to add context, to give things meaning, to help us understand and focus on what really matters. And I think what matters is caring for this fabulous, beautiful planet. And I truly believe that the root of so many or all of our problems with one another and with our environment all stem from disconnection. So if we begin with the end in mind, what is the world you want to live in? What does it look like? How does it feel? What does it smell like? Dream big, and don't limit your answer because you think something's unlikely or impossible. Tell me about it in the comments because I want to read them and say, yes, yes to that. I want us to all get excited about dreaming this world that we want to live in and a world that we can live in. And while you're at it, subscribe to the channel because I want this channel to be like a seed. Because when a farmer or a gardener plants a seed and they know that it might not yield anything for years, they don't say, ugh, what's the point? No, they care for the seed, they water it, they pluck weeds because they know eventually what that seed will yield. And when it comes to our planet and all of the increasing threats to nature and our air and our water, Joanna Macy said something else that I think is very relevant for this moment. Important changes often go through 3 phases. First, they are regarded as a joke. Then, they are treated as a threat. Finally, they become accepted as normal. And right now, caring for our planet is very much viewed as a threat by some powerful politicians, by powerful oil and gas companies, but I think we're much closer to caring for our planet becoming normal, it becoming what's expected, and that doesn't just change our politics, it changes the world that we live in. It'll change the air that we breathe. Because as dark as the world might seem right now, never forget those famous words from Margaret Mead. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has.